split or they swarm, you let them requeen themselves, or do you requeen them?
Well, I'll let them requeen themselves. I'll order queens. If I do my splits, I do my splits a little bit differently. So what I do is, let's go to this hive. What I do is I'm the only person that ever does it this way, and the reason why I do it is because I've had 100% acceptance rate with my queens. Okay, every single buddy that I've talked to is when you get a new queen, what you're supposed to do is you have her in your little cage. You either kill your queen or you split her or do whatever you got to do. You put that queen cage in there. You take the little tape or the cap off the candy. You put it in there, and then 3 days later, you go back in and make sure she made it out. Right? That's the rule. Right? Everybody heard that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't believe in that. So, what I do is I go in here and I make sure my hive is absolutely queenless. So whether I'm doing a split or I know they're queenless because I have no eggs, I will come in here and I will tear down. So say I'm doing a split. 5 frames, I move my queen out, she's in this box now, this hive is queenless, right? In 5 days, okay? I order my queens that day. I know I'm going to get them in about 2 or 3 days. In 5 days, I come back in my hive. I tear down every single queen cell that they've made. I find every single one. I tear it down. I take the queen, my new queen that I got. I keep the cap or the tape on so they can't get the candy. I put her in here for 2 to 3 days. Leave her in there. Let them get used to her smell. Okay? If I come back in 2 or 3 days later, there's more queen cells made that I may have missed, I can tear those down as well. Once you get past that point of about 7 days, after 3 days, they can't make a new queen out of that brood that was laid. Okay, so they're gonna be forced to accept my queen. If not, they're all gonna die. Bees won't they won't kill themselves. So what they will do is after that second, third day, I'll come in here and I'll remove the tape. Let them eat the candy, let the queen come out. As soon as I remove that tape, I put the queen back in here and I do not go back into my hive for 2 weeks. If she makes it, she makes it. If she doesn't, she doesn't. Let nature take its course. Okay, I do not bother them for a minimum of 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I go back in. She's normally out of every single time I've done this, she's always out of the cage. She's laying, they've accepted her. And the reason why I do that is because if they really don't want her, if they really don't want to accept her, they will let her lay brood first. And then they will raise a new queen, but at least you have the daughter of the one you bought. Okay. So you know the genetic base of where she came from.
At least on the mother's side.
Exactly.
Do you do anything different when you're taking a queen out because you're replacing her?
It depends on the situation. Like the swarm I captured last night, I found the queen right in my swarm trap and I just pinched it right there and there.
Right. So then, do you do anything different when you're introducing the new queen?
What I do, it depends. If I'm doing a split, what I like to do is, sounds kind of crazy, but I actually use swarm lure. I will take the queen out, put her in a box, and I'll spray some swarm lure on the hive that's queenless to just kind of get rid of her smell. So when I put my new queen in, her pheromone just kind of takes over the original smell. And I do that too when I actually combine 2 hives. I'll smoke it really, really heavily, spray some swarm lure in there, combine them. I've had hives with 2 queens before because of that. Just because as that swarm lure kind of dissipates, the pheromones kind of mix together and they live together. Yeah. So I don't use the newspaper with sugar water. I just spray swarm lure in there to where it smells like lemongrass oil. And
Can you use just the lemongrass oil?
Yeah, I just use lemongrass oil, just a little in a tiny little like spray bottle.
Is that the approved for beekeeping lemongrass oil? Or?
Technically no. It's an essential oil. I mean, you can go online and buy swarm lure.
I'll just share with you a conversation I had with Mike earlier. He did an experiment where he had 2 swarm traps, 4 swarm traps, and one side he used lemongrass, the other side he used a swarm lure. He said in both instances he got bees in the swarm lure and not in the lemongrass. So he thinks everybody's
the swarm lure does have a little bit different stuff in it.
Some pheromones.
Yeah, it's got some different composition to it. I mean, I know people that make queen swarm lure and queen pheromone just by old queens. They'll put them in alcohol, and I don't do that, so I don't know the exact process behind it. But
I found out if you use too much lemongrass,
Yes.
they won't come in.
Scare them off.
So you only want to drop maybe a Q-tip
Yeah.
in a plastic bag.
Carmen, you just get a alcohol bottle, leave about 2 inches in the bottom,
for what?
throw all your dead queens in there.
Yeah, you could do that too. I don't. Because what I do is when I pinch my queens, I throw them back in the hive. How?
Why would you do that?
What? Oh, look at him! Look at him!
Why would you do that? Why would you throw her back in the hive?
To let them know that she's dead.
Oh.
Oh, that one's still flying.
Yeah, I'll throw her back in my hive and let them drag her out, because that kind of triggers the pheromone that they'll start fanning, they'll start doing what they have to do to let them know, hey, our queen is dead. Let's start building a new one.
That's a good tip.
And then go from there. But I always put them back in the hive just for that.
Do you wait a certain time period then before you introduce a new one?
5 days.
Oh, yeah.
Because
5 days before you take the tape off?
No, well,
before.
that
3 days
total of mine is six days before I take the tape off. So I'll kill the queen. Say I gotta kill her. I kill her. I throw her back in there, put everything back together, and wait 5 days.
Oh.
Okay. So any eggs that she hatched that day,
They're gonna make
they're gonna be hatched out already. I go back in, and that 5 days into it, I have my new queen that I bought. I'll tear down all my queen cells that I have, put my queen cage in there, taped up. They can't eat the candy yet. Leave her in there for about 2 or 3 days. Then I come back, make sure there's no queen cells. I may have missed some. Okay. By that time, all the eggs and larvae are past that stage of them being able to make a new queen.
Yeah.
And that's when I take the tape off the candy, or the cap off the candy, and then leave it alone for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Never lost a queen. Not lost a queen. Plus, it gives them a little bit of about a week brood break, so I'm helping with my safety.
Yeah, true.
We requeened a hive. I have a collective over there. We requeened a hive and went back in to inspect. And just as we just as we opened it, we found we still had the old
Oh,
queen.
she's pretty.
Yeah,
I can see
she's
from afar.
beautiful. Oh, she's
Oh, big
gorgeous,
queen.
big fat thing.
Which one is she?
Oh yeah, okay, big.
Bonnie Max.
What do those queen cells look like?
They look like peanuts. I'm getting stung because I grabbed your mom. I know I did. I'm
Did you
sorry.
just move the queen?
Yeah, I just picked her up and moved her so I
So
could
you
put
wouldn't
that.
roll her?
Yep.
Okay.
I've been a little feisty, ain't it?
What would you do if you just went and touched their queen?
You gotta be immune to the stings now, right?
Me?
Nobody loves them.
It still hurts. I just get kind of used to them. I got stung right here in the arm and it swelled up pretty good last night, but it still hurts. I don't think when she's in there, I don't think they're getting ready to swarm or anything. So, any other questions about inspections? It's pretty much what I do. Is I just go in there, look at 2 frames of brood from your hive, look for what I gotta look for, and then I'm done.
I know on the commercial ones, all the frames are usually marked. On hobby, do you have to mark the frames?
No. You just have to have your markings on the front. At least a half-inch big per letter.
That's when we get our number.
That's when you get your number, your phone. It doesn't have to be burned. It doesn't have to be branded. It just needs to be permanently affixed.
Is that just to the brood one or dinosaurs?
It just needs to be to the brood. The brood chamber. And that's so.
And do you clip your queens?
Me? I've done it. I'm not doing it now. When I clipped, I'm still kind of teaching myself how to do it because I may be clipping them wrong, but I've lost some queens doing it, so that's why I don't do it right now. I think I'm clipping them too short, and they're looking at her as damage and they're killing her. So there is a debate between it. I think it just comes down to preference at that point.
Now, how do you cook the wings?
Very carefully.
Yeah, you pick her up, you hold her, and there's a you can buy scissors or craft scissors. Even I used beard trimming scissors, and you just kind of take her wing and cut it at an angle. Problem is, it's trying to
Just trying to move as you grab.
And if you want, the easiest way to learn how to pick up your queens is practice on drones. So yeah, they're expendable. So you just practice. I mean, there's going to be a time and place. It happens to everybody where you're going to pick her up and all of a sudden she drops on the ground, or you drop the frame she's on and she's on the ground. You don't have a queen cage. It's just as easy to pick them up and put them back in the hive without damaging her than getting a queen cage and worrying about it. So I would recommend just practicing on your drones. If you can pick them up and put them down fine, you can pick a queen up. So, any other questions? No?